everybody, welcome back to Mini Station. I am super excited about this video because I've been wanting to film it for a while and I finally gathered up enough, information and shiz to film it. So today I'm going to be talking about the super important subject of sun protection. Basically, I want this to be a crash course on what you can do to help protect your skin, your eyes, your hair, everything from the sun, as well as when you go into the drugstore and you see the labels on sunscreen bottles or the labels on sunglasses and things like that. The first thing I want to say is that protecting yourself from the sun is relevant year-round. I don't care what skin color you have, I don't care what climate you live in, I don't care what your regular activities are, you always have to protect yourself from the sun, and it doesn't matter if it's snowing outside or if it's sunny or whatever, you always need to protect yourself. So for the people that I know that wait for the calendar to flip over and for it to say the first day of summer and that's when I start using the sunscreen, pay attention, because this is really important and I see the effects of people's negligence way too often in my line of work and it's really sad. So I'm gonna try to make this video interesting and educational and hopefully, you guys can learn something from this. To start, there are three different types of UV rays. UV rays meaning ultraviolet radiation. The three rays are UVA, UVB, and UVC. The easiest way to think about what these rays do to your skin are with their letters. UVA rays age you, UVB rays burn you, and UVC rays cook you. Fortunately, for the most part, UVC rays are blocked by the ozone layer, which is why the ozone layer is so important, because once the ozone layer is gone, it will virtually cook the earth and we will no longer exist. But I'm going to focus on UVA and UVB rays because those are the ones that are the most prevalent and at this point in time the most damaging. UVA rays cause your skin to wrinkle and become leathery. They have the longest wavelength, which means they have the lowest amount of energy, but it also means that they penetrate your skin the deepest. So they're going directly to your dermis, which is the layer of skin right below your epidermis. The epidermis being the layer of skin that you can physically touch. And UVA rays directly go into the dermis and mess with collagen and elastin, breaking them down and for the most part rendering them useless. Collagen and elastin is what helps keep our skin flexible and plump and smooth, and it's very, very important because as soon as we start losing collagen and elastin, not only do we start to age quicker, but also our skin isn't as healthy and it's not going to protect us as well as it should. UVA rays also cause DNA damage and form free radicals, which I will get into more in a later video exactly what free radicals are. But this DNA damage will essentially end up leading to cancer. Something else to keep in mind is that UVA rays also make up 95% of solar radiation, and they are 50 times more prevalent than UVB rays. They're also most commonly the type of rays that are used in tanning beds, but it's 12 times the dosage of actually being in the sun, which means 12 times the effects of damage and aging. For UVB rays, they have shorter wavelengths, which means that they have more energy, and they are also the rays that penetrate your epidermis. Because of their nature, they are reflected and sort of bounced off of our skin through the epidermis a little bit more, so they don't cause the damage that UVA rays cause, but they are still related to the actual pigmentation of your skin when you tan. Because UVB rays have a shorter wavelength, they also have more energy, which means they have a greater effect directly on DNA, the molecules, and the cells in the epidermis. UVB rays are also the main cause of skin cancers. So now that I've talked a little bit about what the rays actually are and what they do to you, I want to talk about the protection that you can employ in your own life to help keep anything from happening to your skin. To start, SPF refers to skin protection factor in regards to UVB rays only. I'm sure more recently you've also seen PA and some plus signs on sunscreen bottles, which I believe is a sort of system that was developed in Japan, and it's becoming a more widely used method of figuring out how exactly strong the sunscreen is or how much protection it's going to provide. And PA refers to protection grade specifically against UVA rays. So when you want to get sunscreen, you want to get something that's broad spectrum and it's going to protect against both of these rays. In regards to the plus signs that you see after PA, 1+ is good for general going out of the house, going from your house to your car, just being out for a little bit, something where you don't need a ton of protection, I guess you could say. Whereas 3+, which is the highest grade, is something that you need if you're going to be going out to the beach or if you're going to go out and play some sports or something where you're going to be shaking your body all over the place and you need full-on protection because you're going to be out for a while. In general, the higher the SPF, the higher the protection, but not by much. The increase in number isn't a consistent increase in protection. For instance, if I got SPF 50 it makes you think that it's 20 more protection than SPF 30, which is not the case at all, and it's something that you need to consider when you're getting sunscreen. The number is actually a multiplication of how long you can stay in the sun without burning. So for instance, if I take 10 minutes to burn in the sun, which is probably the case because I'm pretty much translucent, if I got a bottle of sunscreen that was SPF 15, that means I could stay in the sun for 150 minutes instead of 10 minutes. To be specific, SPF 15 blocks 93% of UVB rays, SPF 30 blocks 97% of UVB rays, and SPF 50 blocks 98% of UVB rays. So the higher you go in number, the less of an increase the protection is. What really matters when you're getting sunscreen and you're trying to protect yourself is how often you're reapplying the sunscreen. Something to keep in mind is that higher SPF might cause more irritation or may cause rashes or allergic reaction because of the ingredients in it. And the higher you go in SPF is going to do more with the chemicals in the bottle than maybe like the amount of chemicals in the bottle. So when you're trying out a new sunscreen, double check the ingredients and make sure it's not something that's going to cause an adverse reaction to your skin. Most of the time a physical protection ingredient is going to be safer than a chemical protection. What I mean by that is physical protection is usually like zinc oxide or titanium dioxide because they're like the white liquid that's going to actually physically reflect and bounce the rays off of your skin, whereas the chemical ingredients are things that absorb and sort of eat up the sun. So it's something that either way is going to be going into your skin, and that's where the allergic reactions can happen. So generally above like SPF 50, I feel like it's really not doing anything for you. You know, if anything, it might be a little bit more tricky to use. So something else to consider is the time of day is going to affect how quickly we burn. Spending an hour in the sun at 9 a.m. might be equivalent to spending 10 minutes in the sun at noon. And that's really important to consider if you're going to be out. Now, getting to the actual variables that come into play when you're trying to protect yourself from the sun. All too often I hear about people putting on a little bit at a time and then not ever reapplying again throughout the day, or putting on like SPF 80, which is ridiculous, and thinking that the stronger it is, that means it's going to protect you for a longer amount of time, which really isn't the case. For the most part, when people put on sunscreen, I see them scrape on this tiny little bit as if they're greasing a baking pan, which is not what you want to do. You want to be liberal with it. I would put it on like a regular moisturizer and then just sort of like pat it in as if you were using one of your facial serums at the end of the night, so it's providing the best protection you can get. And like I said before, you can't just use sunscreen only in the summer. It's relevant year-round. Even when it's snowy, even when it's cloudy, even when you live in the city. I've had so many clients where they tell me that they don't put a lot of sunscreen on because in Manhattan the buildings are so tall, there's shade everywhere and you're protected. No, light doesn't work like that. UV rays don't work like that. They're going to bounce off everything. They're bouncing off that car window near you, those 14 glass buildings that you just walked past. Even if you feel like you're in the shade and the sun isn't directly hitting you, light is still hitting you. If you can see, light is hitting you. And actually, UV rays are stronger going through glass, and UVB exposure is actually doubled when it's reflecting off of snow or ice or the like. Just think about how blinding it is when you're looking at like a sheet of fresh snow. You can barely even look at it. Like, that alone is telling you how strong it is. It's like looking at the sun. And in general, something to think about is if UV rays can penetrate your skin, which they do, they can penetrate clouds also. Clouds are made up of water. It's almost like it's going through a magnifying glass. It's going to be just as strong, if not stronger, most of the time when there is inclement weather. So basically, apply the sunscreen 30 minutes before you go out, give it a chance to soak in, and you need to reapply it at least every 2 hours. If you are swimming, if you are sweating profusely, if you're sweating at all, if you're doing an activity where it might rub off, you have to reapply it because that means the sunscreen is coming off. I would apply it even more often than that, especially if you're swimming. I don't care if the sunscreen says it's waterproof, it's gonna come off. Put more on. Apply it again right after you're done swimming. And like I said, in the US, the sun is the most oppressive between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., but we all know that's exactly the time of day that people go out because it's the brightest and most gorgeous at that time. So get a big golf umbrella or get something that you can periodically sort of hide under. You're not going to be completely protected by it, but being under a big umbrella is a lot better than being out in the sun the entire time you're out. In terms of applying sunscreen with makeup or with makeup with SPF or with moisturizers with SPF, sunscreen is supposed to be a barrier. It's supposed to be a shield for your skin, so it needs to go closest to your skin. It can't go on top of your makeup. So put on your moisturizers first, let that soak in, put your sunscreen on, let that soak in, and then put your makeup on top of that. You cannot rely on moisturizer plus SPF or makeup with SPF to be your only barriers. First of all, you're not even going to be putting your makeup over your entire body, and for the most part I don't even think people put makeup too much further past their neck. On top of that, it is a very thin shield of SPF compared to putting a full-on sunscreen on your skin. So think of, if you have a moisturizer with SPF in it, if you have a makeup with SPF in it, think of those as bonuses. Those are little extra goodies you have if your makeup has that. But you cannot substitute a good sunscreen with those things. And something else that you definitely need is a good lip balm with SPF in it. I can't think of any off the top of my head, which tells you that I don't have any good lip balms that have SPF in them either, but I will link some below because similar to the skin around your eyes, the skin on your lips is very delicate. It does not have its own sebaceous glands. There is no natural sort of protection for your skin on your lips, and that's why they get dry and chapped without, you know, help from you. So get a sunscreen that will help protect your lips because they are going to peel and burn very easily if you don't protect them. Other protectors are things that I hear people dig on a lot, which I think is hilarious because who cares what you think about what I wear, but floppy sun hats and giant Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen sunglasses are perfect when it comes to this kind of thing. You want a big floppy sun hat that is super cute in my opinion, that's going to cover and give you a wide cast of shade over this whole area of your body. Your neck, your décolleté, and your facial skin are all super delicate and they need to be protected. I see so many people who have these freckled, hyperpigmentation, wrinkly, leathery like décolletés, and then everything up from that is youthful, and it's just like a weird mismatch. And it's the same thing for your hands. So when you're putting on sunscreen, you put it around your eyes, you put it on your ears, you put it on your nose, you put it on your neck, you put it on the back of your neck, you put it on your décolleté, all over your hands. Put it on your hands like it's regular old lotion. I want it on your hands constantly because your hands are going to age super fast. You can't mismatch your skin like that. You have to take care of yourself consistently all over. And unless you have clothing that is specifically sun protectant clothing, you can't trust that your regular little t-shirt is going to protect you from the sun, because if you can see light through your shirt, that means UV rays are going through your shirt too. So let's just say, as a good rule of thumb, I'm going to put sunscreen over my whole arms. I'm definitely going to be putting it over my shoulders, and if, like, let's say on a regular day, if I had like a higher necked collar, I would at least put it over my whole décolleté. Put the sunscreen on a few inches past where your clothes actually cover your skin, because you're not thinking about where your clothing is going to ride up or be a little bit like more see-through than the rest of your outfit or something like that. You want to be safer than sorry. When you get sunglasses, you need sunglasses that fit snugly on your ears and over your nose, and something that preferably is going to go over your brow and sit against your brow. I have seen a lot of people who have fashionable sort of loose-sitting sunglasses. They let them slip down to the end of their nose, or they're not fitted quite properly, or they're sunglasses that are completely flat. And whether you realize it or not, which is the problem here, the sun is actually, since it's above us, the sun is going to bounce down on the inside of your sunglasses, and it's going to bounce against your glasses and go bounce against your cheeks. And I have seen a lot of people get melanoma just around their eyes because maybe they have the rest of their face protected and the rest of their face is exposed to the sun, but they don't protect their eyes and they don't realize the sun is bouncing in on the inside of their sunglasses. So they have to have surgery on just that skin, which is really scary because, like I was saying about our lips, our eyes don't naturally have any sebaceous glands or oil glands connected to the skin around them, so they don't produce their own oil. Pretty much the thinnest skin on our bodies, and it's very delicate and it's very vulnerable to skin cancer. So when you get sunglasses, get those big ass sunglasses. Go ahead and get those water bugs, those bag lady sunglasses, because they're going to protect you better than some little, you know, like cute circle lenses. Like, just as an example, I wear these most of the time. These are my Betsy Johnson sunglasses, and they are super big on me. They go right above my brow. They don't fit quite as snugly as I'd want them to because they do slip down my nose, so I'm going to get some nose pads to help them sit better. But they go over my brow, they go all the way down to the bottom of my eye socket, that bone right there. And when you get sunglasses, you want to cover up that entire socket of your eye. If it has a thicker temple on the side, that's even better because it's giving you more protection. If you need an excuse to get those giant sunglasses, say it's because you're protecting your eyes, and that is a very good reason, aside from the fact that they're really cute, so it doesn't matter. When it comes to getting sunglasses and trying to figure out if the lens itself is going to be more protected, first of all, having a darker lens doesn't mean you get more protection because the UV coating is actually clear. We even sort of have lighter sunglasses. You can get pink or blue or yellow or whatever tinted sunglasses and have them be sort of light and still get enough UV protection. If it's really bright where you are, maybe you do want to get darker lenses, but that doesn't mean you're getting better UV protection. Something else that helps but is not at all related to UV protection is polarized lenses. I have a pair of Ray-Bans that are polarized, and they don't help with UV protection, but they do reflect light, which just helps protect your eyes in general a little bit. So when you get sunglasses, look for 99 to 100% UV protection. Like my Betsy Johnson sunglasses say that they're 100% UV protection, but it's kind of vague and it's not usually good enough for me. I just got them because they're really cute and they cover my whole eye area. Or else look for sunglasses that have UV 400 protection, because the 400 means it's going to protect even the tiniest wavelength, and it's going to give you complete protection from UV exposure. And aside from damaging the skin around our eyes, UV rays can also damage our eyes themselves, and it can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. And I'm not trying to use any scare tactics with you guys, but they are dangerous, and it's something that can hurt you with long-term exposure. And so protecting your actual eyes and your actual vision is just as important as protecting the skin around your eyes. I want you to go out and get a good broad spectrum protection. The safest bet is to just get SPF 30 with PA+++ protection. It's the most general, broad sweeping protection. It's going to protect you from everything, and reapplying more often is more important than getting SPF 9000. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope I wasn't too boring. I'm going to link information in the description box about different factors when it comes to this kind of thing, about SPF, about information from the FDA, information from different sunscreen companies. I'm going to list some good sunscreens below, going to be from cruelty-free companies if you care about that. If not, go ahead and get it because it's still a good sunscreen. If you guys have any sort of questions or comments, please tell me below or message me on Twitter or whatever, however you guys usually comment to me, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Everyone take care of yourselves. Please stay safe this summer and every other day of the year when it comes to protecting yourself from the sun. And I hope everyone had a really great day. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!